Welcome back.
We did it. I don't know why we... You know what? Fuck it. Yes, we should absolutely pat ourselves on the back for just doing this. It is hard to do things sometimes. This is like, I don't know, year 3 of this pandemic, I'm sure. It's fine. We deserve it.
I like that you said we did it, but in actuality, we haven't done it.
Starting it is just as good. Getting started is the most important part of doing anything. So
we haven't done it, and also we didn't do it last week because we're going back to an every other week schedule. So your statement was it was a lie. We opened this podcast with a lie.
Yeah, what else is new? That's the sound of Elena watching The Mummy.
Hi.
Hey.
You start yet?
Yeah. Hey, we're starting. You want to say hi to the people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, everybody.
Hey. How have you been?
I've been doing fine. Just doing a lot of chores and taking care of my dog.
Yeah. Mishka, the Craigslist dog.
Yep. Watching The Mummy.
Yeah.
Not The Mummy Returns.
Not The Mummy Returns. No.
Just the first one.
Not this first one. Do us a favor and check in with us about half an hour. Let us know how it's going.
All right. Sounds good.
Cool. See you then.
Have
Bye.
a good show. A good pod.
Yep. We call it a pod, not a show.
Come on.
Make sure you get that right. And exit stage left. We look forward to bringing you the latest in Mummy news every half hour on the half hour. Sarah, hi.
Hey, were you gonna ask me how I've been, and then you just decided not to?
That's how I feel about asking anyone that question nowadays. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine. I went to the dentist today, so that's
Whoa.
cool. Had somebody's hands in my mouth for the first time in a while.
How is that?
I think it was as meaningful for her as it was for me.
There's definitely a level of intimacy that your dentist needs to, and your dental hygienist needs to have with you. And I admire it, and it's nothing I'd never want ever for me personally, just to be that close and personal with people daily.
Yeah, I felt like, she's going into the pits because, if you're going to get the Rona, it's coming from this big wet hole in my face, and you're literally opening it up, sticking your face into it, and then moving things around. And, spraying things that ricochet off of it.
Right, but as long as they were wearing a mask, or if they were eating, then they'll be okay.
Yeah, you're right. She was taking one long sip out of a Coca-Cola
Well, there you go.
brand cup.
COVID can't get past that. COVID
Nope.
sees you eat and goes, shucks.
Never
I'll
mind.
come back later.
Yeah, I don't mean to give any points to anti-vaxxers, but I will say they do have a point where they point out how ridiculous it is to go to a restaurant, sit down, take off your mask, eat, get up, put the mask on, and walk out of the restaurant.
That's not even a conspiracy. That's just a factual, weird thing we are all just ignoring.
Yeah.
You know what? That doesn't make much sense at all.
No.
If you aren't eating, and that's the difference between you being able to get COVID or not, that doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
And I don't like to give many points to the anti-vaxxers, but I guess that's kind of one.
We really don't have to give them points for that. You keep wanting to, and I'm telling you, we can also ignore them entirely.
The no new normal folks, those guys, they don't deserve much. Hey,
a broken clock is wrong twice a day.
how are you, Talon? How's it going?
Good, busy. I had my first day on set for Dearest Ava.
Yeah, your project that got green. I mean, to use a studio term, it got green lighted.
To use a stereotomb. What? A studio term.
I hate you.
We're on a podcast.
I don't hate you at all.
But no, I understand what you're saying. That's the point of language. Yes, it hit its Seed and Spark campaign goal, and then some. People were very generous. Thank you so much if you, whoever out there contributed. I've seen names, and I've also seen some anonymous cash pledges.
Oh, I thought you were going to be like, I've seen names, and people whose names I haven't seen, you're on a list, too.
Yep. There's definitely some people I am very disappointed in. But no. Everyone who contributed. From what I heard, it was mostly very small donors, so that's really cool, especially for raising an amount of that magnitude.
Bernie would be proud.
Bernie would be proud. We did it, Joe.
Honestly, don't like Kamala Harris at all. Love that phrase.
Great meme creation.
It's got some real comedy mileage to it.
Yeah, for sure.
And I feel like if this is the first episode that people are listening to, I'm not a right winger. I just don't like Kamala Harris or Joe Biden. All right.
Yeah, good to clear that up as we do in the first 5 minutes of every show, because I know what it sounds like sometimes,
and
but
it's not. It's not.
It's not.
It's not.
I do know. But yeah, so that went well. Going great, really fun crew, great cast. It's if you've never observed the process of making film, just like the amount of effort that goes into like 1 second sometimes, it's just
incredible.
It's phenomenal, and
yeah,
I'm very impressed with the work I'm seeing. It's super cool to be a part of. Looking forward to sharing it with people later in the year.
Later. And that's Dearest Ava. You can find them on Instagram, right?
Yeah, if you go to Cryptic Films, Cryptic with a K Films, that's the production company making Dearest Ava. So they'll have all the updates for you.
So you'll know.
Follow me. I'm sure I'll post it too.
You'll know that when Colin's not hanging out with me, that's what he's doing.
There's 2 places I am. Listen, maybe 3 if you count Domino's pizza pickups, but yeah, one of those 3. So yeah. It's I don't know what else is going on.
That's all I've got, man. I went to the dentist just so I could have something to talk about on the podcast tonight.
Just to do that. I really need to go to the dentist, and I got as far as like calling the dentist to leave a voicemail to schedule an appointment, and then on Monday they had called me, and I saw the call coming through. I didn't answer it because but I figured they'd leave a voicemail, and they just didn't. And so now we're in this standoff.
You're playing hard to get with your dentist.
Yeah, I just don't know why they wouldn't have just left a voicemail. Why is it on me again? I already had to make 1 phone call. Now I got to do it
poor baby.
again.
You poor thing.
I know.
I have a kind of fucked up relationship with my dentist in that I really fucking like my dentist. So when they call me, I call them back because I like them so much.
That's great, though.
I don't want them to leave me.
I feel like it's like finding a good barber or hairdresser. When you find the one.
Yeah. You get on one knee.
Yeah. Whoa.
I proposed to my dentist today.
Holy shit.
Mid hand and mouth. I think she couldn't tell what I was saying because her hands were in my mouth, but if she had, she would have said yes.
If she had. Man, there's so many stories. So many people fall in love with their dentists, and that's... Again, I think we've talked about this on the podcast a lot, but like it's kind of the same thing with customer service, folks. They're not doing any of this because they like you.
No, she loves me.
Well, I know it feels that way.
She offers numbing cream for my gums because she loves me. She tells me I have beautiful teeth because she loves me.
She puts the hand in my mouth without a glove because she loves me.
I hate that. Thanks for giving me a new neuroses to think about.
Oh, man. Dentistry used to happen without gloves all the time, y'all.
It just wasn't the same. Wait, what are you talking about?
I mean, there must have been a point.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how long. When do you think that was? There must have been a point.
I thought you meant like pre-coronavirus.
No.
Yeah, my doctor was just going in raw.
Yeah, man.
Raw hand skin.
He'd be like eating a burger with one hand, doing cavities with the other. But no, I'm just talking in Earth history. Like the dawn of dentistry.
Yeah.
Must have been very, in its most primitive form, pulling out a tooth if it hurts,
Yeah.
Yeah. And
you don't got to wear gloves for
gloves.
That.
Nah. Exactly.
That's when you tie a string and then the other end of the doorknob and close the door.
Yep. Exactly.
Very gently. Never works. I don't know why, but...
And you know what? There's a lot of plagues around that time, too. So you know what? Maybe the gloves are a smart idea.
Yeah, and we could learn a thing or two.
We could learn a thing or two from the medieval dentists of our time. Hey, I feel like it's time to start the show.
Yeah, we should probably do that.
All right.
You caught my eye in the grocery line, and I fancied myself a man worth your time, and I couldn't help thinking
podcast for listener. What's a girl gotta take to get more worms? It's time for another existential crisis, the show where we take the misconnection section into new directions. I'm Sarah Thompson.
I'm Talon Bigelow.
And Talon was too cowardly to make that joke, so I did.
I just feel like I just liked it coming out of you better.
That's fair. I get it.
Welcome to the show, y'all.
So glad to be back. We're back on I think I mentioned it earlier, but I'm going to keep saying it so that it seems purposeful. We're back on an every other week basis. So you're gonna get some good content because we have 2 weeks to build up all the best misconnections. So,
yeah, we got 2 weeks of backup here, and we're ready to let it out.
Just dump it somewhere.
Just right into
into
your ear holes.
Your septic system ear holes.
Welcome to the show. If you haven't heard it before, well, first of all, what's a misconnection? Good question. A misconnection is like a little post-it note on a cafe message board. Maybe someone wrote it because they saw someone, didn't get a chance to connect with them, talk to them in any sort of way, so they post later on this internet message board called Craigslist.com in the misconnection section under the community subsection, and that is where they go, or you know, maybe it's just a bunch of people all horny at the same time trying to find someone to put it in, but one or the other, and we take the best ones and we provide them for each other to read cold on the spot for you. I've never seen Sarah's never seen mine, and I would say hilarity ensues.
Someday we will.
Someday
we will see each other.
Someday we'll run out of misconnections, and then we'll just be...
Wait, what are you referring to?
What?
Anyways, I have one for Talon. Here you go, buddy.
Oh, thank you. 10 years! To the foolish managers who wouldn't rent a place to me. I'm leaving an apartment I've lived in for 10 years. No late rent payments... ever, loud parties, ruined property, sketchy visitors. Like Julia Roberts said, big mistake. Huge.
Okay, was that not Donald Trump who said that? Did Julia Roberts also say that?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Donald Trump plagiarized Julia Roberts, so...
I just thought for sure that was a Donald Trump line. Again,
I believe... I believe this is referring to the film Pretty Women. Pretty Woman.
Pretty Women.
Pretty Women. The sequel to Pretty Woman.
It's
like Alien and Alien.
Get out of my brain, you freak.
No, this is good. This is why we're doing this together. We're on the same page here. Yes. Pretty Women would be the sequel to Pretty Woman, wherein we find out that Julia Roberts was just a baby? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's definitely it.
Okay, sure. We'll work on it. Yes, the Pretty Woman. Are you familiar?
I have never seen it.
I'll be fair. I've never
seen
it either.
Okay.
But I do, cultural osmosis. I feel like I've seen a lot of moments from it. The moment in question, if you haven't seen it, this is for you two listeners. They also did this on The Office with Dwight. Same premise. Julia Roberts was treated rudely by some customer service people because she is who she is and looked the way she did. And she came back to that same store much later, now that she's got a little, sugar daddy and Richard Gere, doling out the dollars. She goes and buys a lot of things, right, and comes back to the store with, obviously, flush with cash because she's got so many bags of things around her arms. And she finds that customer service person and says, yeah, you know what? You treated me poor. You were bad. You were rude to me, and I have so much money. And you would have made money from my sales, but now I'm leaving, and I'm not going to buy anything.
Wow.
Big mistake, huge. That's an exact quote.
Who wrote I was going to say, who wrote the dialogue? Is that like a Tarantino joint? Like, what's going on?
I think it's a Scorsese.
Yeah. Yes. All right. Here, I'm confused.
Okay. Yeah, it is a little... It is definitely written in a way that makes it confusing. There is punctuation. I just don't know if you could tell by how I was reading it.
Yeah.
A lot of commas, mostly.
So they've lived in a place for 10 years. Loud parties, ruined property, sketchy visitors. Was that all of them?
It felt like at some point it turned, right? Like it was like a list of things about me, and then it turned into a list of things about not them.
Are you sure? Are you sure that they're not trying to tout themselves? They'll be like, your other tenants will hate me because I have loud parties, ruined property, and sketchy visitors.
Yeah, that doesn't seem right to me.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't make any sense.
So this person's just, I guess, trying to tell off their almost landlords.
Maybe the reason they didn't get any of the apartments is because they were like, all right, tell us some reasons why you'd be a good tenant. And they started writing, I've lived in the same place for 10 years. I've never had late rent, loud parties, ruined property, sketchy visitors. And then they just forgot to mention that the last 3 were things they have endured rather than things that they perpetrated. Right.
It's no late rent, no loud parties, no ruined property.
Oh!
Maybe I think you cracked it.
No, you just cracked it. You also the sound wave of that sound I just made looks like a butt plug. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
There must be some sort of custom internet service that makes like 3D printed butt plugs based on a sound, right? Like if you want a butt plug, some people get like
they'd all sound like oh.
It'd have to be a very specific sound, or you've got a very adventurous butt. But some people get like the sound wave of like their child saying like "mama" or something like tattooed on them. What if you could get that as a butt plug?
But also, no, I think that's a terrible idea. Sorry, did I say great? I meant terrible. I think that's a terrible idea. But also, like, sound waves aren't unique, right? Like, sound waves are like the almost, I mean, on Audacity at least, the recording. For those of you, this is a real peek behind the curtain. The recording service that I use, it's just like, it's a measure of volume. So
right.
Simply anything that you, like, I could say, like, a big cheeseburger, and that kind of made a butt plug.
Right, and if I were to tell you it's me saying my firstborn son's name out loud, and if I'd say it like you just did, it would be the same. Timothy!
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know if this is a thing. I think that, like, growing up, girl children are socialized where they have a lot of things they have to name.
Uh-huh.
Like, did you just feel like you were constantly having to name things as a child? Like, give them names?
When you say things, like, what
like
do you
dolls
mean? Okay.
And toys. Like, and make believe. When you're playing make believe, you always had to come up with a name. Do you feel like, I just felt like I was constantly being burdened with the task of naming. I feel like fucking, I almost said Adam and Steve. I felt like Adam in the Garden of Eden. I felt like I was having to fucking name everything.
Wow, I didn't.
Did you feel that way?
No.
Okay.
Well,
this wasn't the question. In case you're wondering, this is just a lead-in. But please answer it. If you
just to say, yeah, I didn't. I feel like I ever played with toys that already came with a name, or.
Oh, you were one of those who actually named the Beanie Baby name.
Well, yeah, it has a name. What do you mean? There are people out there not going by. There are people out there adopting Beanie Babies that come with a name and just renaming them.
Yeah, doing away with their birth name. They don't want them to have any connection to their birthplace.
Are people doing that with Garbage Pail Kids too, or Pokemon? Like, where does it stop?
And real children. Anyways.
Okay, well, what's the question?
So I think because of that socialization, like, you had a lot of time to think about what names you liked and like what you would name your children and stuff. And I feel like every person who I have spoken to was socialized as a girl as a child. Like knew, like to this day, like have an idea of what they would want their children's names to be.
Wow.
And I'm just wondering, do you? This is a long-winded way of asking. Do you have a preference for any names for any children you may or may not have someday?
Good question. I'll say I don't think I'm one of those people who just has one in the barrel ready to go.
Yeah.
It's something that has like come up conversationally, but I feel like I'm someone who really wants to keep their finger on the pulse, and I don't want to I have to update that name on a yearly basis. If I'm like thinking about it, like last year's name is can't be this year's name.
What are you, like, naming them Fortnite and shit? Like, what's so topical that you can't? What the fuck? What's so topical that you can't have the same one 2 years in a row?
Listen, Donald used to be a fine name.
No. That's a duck.
I said
he was
fine.
a duck. All right.
Donald
he was a duck,
Glover?
now he's a fuck. Get it? Ha. Okay. That was a real 50-year-old woman on Facebook joke.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, I do
well,
feel
what's
like...
this year's name, then? What's a hip...
Like, what's a name this year that would be...
That you would name a child if suddenly an infant appeared in your arms and was like, da-da, and you were like, oh, God, I have to raise this.
Yeah. Good question, just because there's definitely going to be a lot of popular names. I have a feeling, like, a lot of babies going to be named Shang-Chi. You know, that's going to be...
super hip.
Yeah. Candyman.
Ring of Power. It's going to be a lot of kids' names.
Yep. PS5 is going to be a pretty popular one.
Ivermectin,
yeah, absolutely. You know, Corona's still gonna probably gonna face a downtick by the end of this all. But I think
you're really dodging this question. Do you not have any made up name for
I don't
native
think
children?
I don't think I guess not. But don't get me wrong. I wouldn't be one of those like people who like leaves their baby without a name for like a day or
I'm not one
days.
of those people. God forbid.
People.
What's wrong with those people? That's fine.
Well, I feel like that'd be weird. I already have enough identity issues. If I knew that like on my first 7 days alive, I was just the baby, that would be weird to me.
But then your parents are just like taking the time to get to know you, you know? Because what if they named you Chester and you're clear? Actually, you could get away with being a Chester. I take it back.
Wow. That's weird.
I wouldn't say it's a good thing, but you could be one.
Okay. You know, Chester Cheetah's pretty cool.
Chester. I think you could be a Chester because sometimes I think there's an old man inside of you somewhere. Not in a weird sexual way, but
sure.
just like I think you're going to really thrive when you're an old man.
I hope. You know, one name I do think I'd like be okay with today would be I like Miles. I like the name Miles.
That's a great name. That was the name of one of my best friends who was a boy growing up. So I like that name.
Well, there you go. And, you know, it's a good time for Miles. We got Miles Morales out there. Mm-hmm. Miles Prower. Mm-hmm. Tails coming to Sonic the Hedgehog 2, arriving in theaters October 2022. I don't know if that's right. But yeah, Miles is good. I like Miles.
Okay, good. That's all I wanted from you. That was really like trying to pull Sprite from a stone, but...
wait, pull teeth was right there. We had a whole conversation about dentists. What? Did you say something from a stone?
I said pull Sprite from a stone.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was right there, but I don't take the easy path. So, okay, great. I just had that question. I was curious.
Could I ask the same of you then, if you're someone who has names?
Yeah, I've always liked the name. I've always liked the name Gabriel, like Gabe for short. I really always liked that. And for a girl, here's where the socialization comes in. And for a girl, I've always liked the name Grace, but I would never have two children and call them Gabriel and Grace because I don't like the matching first letter. So whichever one popped out into existence first would win.
Also, if you do have to refer to both of them a lot, people are going to mistake you for saying like Gabriel Iglesias. That's going to get awkward fast.
Yeah, that's my greatest fear.
You're going to be looking for your kids in the mall and be like, Gabriel and Grace, and people are going to be like, oh my God, Gabriel Iglesias is here? No?
Honestly, that made me want to do it more. Okay, I've got a misconnection for you that I've never read before. Let me go ahead and pull this up.
Go for it.
Noodle around. You are a sexy woman with a healthy drive and an open mind. I may have transformed you into something else when that noodle shot out of my nose and into your soup at night when I sneezed. Now you are missing something and I want to help you find it. It will take some hard work with lots of sweat involved and probably some prior engagements will need to be forgotten. It'll be worth it though. Come over and forget it. I have no fucking idea what's going on here. You know, there are a lot of people who really try to stretch metaphors on this or analogies. This one, I got no fucking idea what's going on here. I thought it could be a sex thing, but a noodle shot out of somebody's nose? That's not where sex things come from.
No, and you know what? Speaking from personal experience, Can't confirm. Noodle coming out of your nose. Not a sex thing.
Not. I mean, for you, it wasn't.
Because I don't know. This may have come up on the podcast before, but real briefly, I once kind of did a weird like cough thing while I was eating an egg roll. Noodles came out of my nose. It happens.
You're not the only person I've ever heard say that. Maybe specifically about an egg roll. That's kind of impressive. Usually they don't have super long noodles in there.
Yeah, no, you're right. It was a pretty fatty egg roll, some real good thick glass noodles in there, and wow.
It's a long. Usually they're kind of truncated. They've been chopped.
Usually these were like homemade. These are more like a lumpia. These are more like some fresh from my grandma.
Don't even say the L word around me, or I will blow my cream.
Well, save it for the lumpia. But yeah, anyway, I've had noodles come out of my nose. Let me tell you.
Not sexy.
Not as sexy as you would hope. So I feel like that's something that happened to this person. Obviously, they sneezed and sneezed a noodle out of their nose and into the other person's soup.
That just seems like so Jim Carrey-ish that I assumed it had to be a metaphor, but it's not, because what the fuck could it be a metaphor for? Like, it's too specific. It has to be what it says it is. I don't like it.
You sure? Yeah, me getting my noodle in your soup could definitely be.
Yes.
It could definitely be a sexual.
We could make that work, but shooting a noodle out of my nose.
I don't know yet. Yeah, no,
that's
different. The nose is the part that makes it not sexy anymore.
And also, what are you losing? What am I missing? My soup? Yeah, I probably would throw that out.
Right. That's where the whole misconnection takes a turn. So I would have felt like it would have been like we were having a date and I sneezed and the noodle got in your soup. So sorry. Anyway, let's get connected again. Give me another shot. Sorry about the nose noodle. But then it goes, now that you were missing something, I want to help you find it. It will take some hard work with lots of sweat involved, and probably some prior engagement will need to be forgotten.
This also has an actual address in it, which I am currently looking at.
Well,
because what if it can solve a question, you know?
What would possibly be...
What if it's a noodle house? I don't know.
Yeah, it's some pho restaurant. And
I mean, yeah, that would hurt. That I could believe.
The last part of this sounds like a riddle. It'll take some hard work, with lots of sweat involved, and probably some prior engagements will need to be forgotten. It will be worth it, though.
This is a home.
Forget it.
This is a home. It's a house. It's a house. I'm looking at the home of somebody who wrote a very confusing Craigslist message. It looks nice. It looks very lovely.
Do you want to go?
Somebody bought it for $420,000.
Are you on? What are you, Zillow?
What a deal! Yeah. Anyways, we don't need to linger on that. I just thought that maybe that would elaborate a little bit, and it did not whatsoever. So I've learned my lesson. Never try to find answers, because they are not there.
Well, I honestly can't tell if this is directed at one person or if it's just an open invite.
I would agree with you. I have no fucking idea. Good God. Yeah, I'm confused. I'll go ahead and send another one to you.
All right, cool. Well, if anyone wants to noodle around, DM us. We'll give you the address. Then you can have fun. Ginny, where are you? Looking for Ginny, Virginia. My favorite spankee. We hooked up 3 times for discipline sessions. I'm Carl. You favored the cane. Haven't heard from you since the pandemic started. Emails bounced back. I should have gotten a phone number. Where are you? I'm sure you're overdue for a whooping. God.
Now, no kink shaming, Talon.
No kink shaming. The line what was it? You favored the cane is so...
It's a lot.
It's
being invited into a situation that I didn't know. I don't really want an invite to. Not to kink shame. I just,
Right. Ginny probably knows where or who they are,
I mean, I know who they are now. Carl,
You say they like to be spanked. That's enough. That's enough information. That is enough identifying features.
I wonder if it's me. Oh, I do prefer the cane.
Yeah, there's a Virginia out there who likes to be spanked by someone who she met named Carl, but when it got to the cane part, she's like, nah, I'm much more of a bare hand girl. No, not me. That wasn't me at all. I hated the cane.
You're overdue for a whooping.
Yeah.
Think he had an iCalendar reminder that says that in his phone?
Yeah, probably.
Ginny's overdue for a whooping.
Yeah. You know what? If you're in this... I mean, I'm not assuming anything, but like if... They listed Ginny as their favorite Spanky. To me, that implies maybe there are many Spankies. Kind of like Black Widows. So...
The spider?
No, the super spy.
Got it. I was like, you need to leave wherever you are if there are many.
Hey, real ones will know. But yeah, so, you know, there are other people involved here. Maybe this Carl has a lot of clients, you know, that they have to do, probably pencil into a calendar. They probably do got to keep a good Google calendar all nice and clear and keep their whoopings organized, just so... You don't want someone to come over and take out the cane and to go, wait, what are you doing? And they're like, oh my God, I mixed up, you know, that would be awkward, you know. Like,
yeah, it's just like my dentist. When I went to my dentist today, the things she remembered about me made me feel so comfortable and loved. And I can only imagine, that if you're getting spanked, you would want the person that's spanking you to know a little bit about you.
Yeah, well, could you also imagine if you had gone to your dentist and they, like...
Spanked me? Yeah, that would have sucked.
Yeah, that would have been an embarrassing mix-up.
Spanking has only ever been a source of fear for me, and I can't... Do you think people who like being spanked sexually have just never actually been spanked?
There's got to be some sort of correlation there, right? Because, yeah, I didn't get spanked. I feel like I remember getting spanked exactly like 3 times. And that was enough. And didn't like it.
Yeah, you are not a Ginny.
Not a Ginny. I don't think... I think because I was spanked, I definitely don't see any sexual gratification in it for me.
I agree.
And I really am genuinely curious if that can't apply to everybody. It would make sense.
Yeah. Is it the unspanked masses who are clamoring for a spanking now?
I think we got to put out a poll. I think we genuinely should. I want to know.
It's going to be very complicated. It'll be a flow chart because it'll be like, were you spanked, yes or no, which will then take you to the next question. Do you like to be spanked, yes or no? There's 4 options.
1 poll for people who were spanked as children. 1 poll for people who weren't. And we'll get to the bottom of this, and we will... This is the most serious I've ever been about wanting to do some fact-finding.
All right.
I'm genuinely curious. I'm sure we could Google it, but I'd rather know from our own... from you, the listener.
Does the word Google ever show up in your head as Gewgle?
I gotta say no, but now it probably will.
That's all I had to say. All right, I've got another one from you here.
Bring it on.
You cross my mind 1,000,000 times a day. Sometimes it's a little flash of anger towards myself or a reminder to get my shit together. Sometimes it's an urge to reach out and say hi, or a moment where I wonder what things are like for you. Sometimes it's nothing at all, just a passing thought. But usually it's a pleasant, hazy little memory, accompanied by a staticky, warm feeling. A corny but nice reminder that no matter how many bad days I have, good ones can pop up when I really don't expect them to. I hope you think about me that way sometimes, too. That's nice.
It's pretty nice, yeah.
That's pretty pleasant. That's a pretty nice one. I did get a little nervous. Because at first I misread, usually it's a pleasant, hazy little memory accompanied by a sticky feeling, which would have been a very different thing to say about a person.
I'm glad it wasn't.
Yeah.
But no.
But then it turned out very, very pleasant, actually.
Very pleasant. I think the reason I picked this one is... Mm-hmm.
Do you want a drum roll? Oh, okay.
Because other people responded to it too. This seemed to spark something in others. So I think if you go to the next misconnection, you'll read
that one too.
Yeah, go for it.
Regarding, you cross my mind 1,000,000 times a day. It is the same for me too, and probably always will be. Smiley face. Yeah, is that somebody just empathizing, or is this the person they were writing to?
I feel like I get the vibe that it's someone having their own similar kind of thing, their own wistful memories of someone else. And it doesn't stop there. Go ahead and hit the next one up.
Oh my god.
I believe. If I upload it in the right order.
I believe. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, quick Shrek reference there. She crosses my mind. To the person who wrote, "You cross my mind a million times a day." There's this woman on my mind, too. I don't know why. I never got the chance to really get to know her, but I just have this feeling that she's really special. We talked for a while, but she ended up cutting things off. Maybe I was too available or came on too strong. Or maybe the chemistry wasn't there for her. Either way, I resonate with the hazy memory, the little sparks of warm feelings, and sometimes the passing thoughts of nothingness. These random feelings and thoughts are encouraging of what good things are to come. As far as my misconnection goes, a great deal of time has passed since she and I were getting to know each other. I do still wonder about her. I'm not in a position to reach out to my misconnection, but you may still have the opportunity to reach out to yours. If they didn't set boundaries regarding contact, and contacting them doesn't harm or disrespect them, then I think you should try. Leave the what-ifs to the rest of us. Wow.
I do like that they were very clear and they were like, as long as they told you that you couldn't.
Yeah. No, honestly. They got very specific and clinical almost about whether or not it's okay for you to even talk to this person.
Yeah, they thought of every contingency in this point, which I appreciate. Sometimes, people will take a warrant to do whatever you say. So sometimes you do gotta really outline it. Watertight.
How many romantic comedies of the 90s and 2000s are there where at the end of it all, the man breaks the woman's boundaries by running after her to the airport when she already said no?
Many.
How many times has that been romanticized? This is the 2020, we're woke now. We gotta really respect boundaries. But if they didn't set them in that specific way, I mean, maybe they set some boundaries, but if they didn't say don't contact them, and, you think things left off in an open-ended fashion for both of you, not just one of you, if the doors are open, you should walk through them, or you shouldn't walk through them, you should at least knock, wait respectfully, knock again after 5 minutes, and leave a note, exactly, if you get no response, and then you don't text that day and say, hey, I came over, where were you? You just wait, and give it 3 days, 72 hours.
What about 7 days?
That is actually the most respectful you could be. And so Samira was onto some shit.
She was a woke queen.
We stand a woke queen.
Yeah, very respectful, big fan. Love that this person. I don't know if this is true, but I imagine everyone on Misconnections to be of a similar age. So I'm just imagining this wizened 25-year-old who's like, it's too late for me, but you go on.
Don't be like me. Don't spend your years waiting. You go get her if she consents.
If she consents,
getting her. Don't if she go. Consents. Just get her. Don't just
do it.
Don't just do it. Don't just show up with a boombox.
Make sure she wants it.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
And
that's
It's also just rare to have a misconnection where so many people respond to it who. In this way, who are just sympathizing. We're just like, hey, me too.
I wonder if the person who wrote this finds that in real life they're one of those people that sometimes there's people in the world that people are really drawn to just sharing with.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a good thing and sometimes I think it's a bad thing. I am not one of those people, but I have friends who are I find that people just come up to me and share their life story with me and nobody asked them to. So I wonder if this person finds that in real life and not just on Misconnection section, people really feel the need to share something with them.
They just seem trustworthy for some reason.
Yeah, it oozes through every sentence and every word choice.
Yeah.
Well, I hope this person goes after it and, leaves the what-ifs to the rest of us.
It's true, because that's really what this site is about. It's all made of what-ifs, and you're out here with a perfectly good, not even a what-if, it's just a it's a maybe, you know?
It's a maybe. Sometimes it's a whodunit.
Sometimes on Craigslist it is a whodunit, like that Peacock murder we talked about a couple weeks back. Sometimes
That's a real whodunit.
That was a real whodunit. Sometimes it's a whoopsie daisy. Sometimes it's a
get out.
Yeah, but you know this is a solid maybe, and they should chase it down.
But only if it wants to be chased.
Only if it wants to be chased from a respectable distance, 20 feet, 30 feet distance.
30 feet distance, masks.
Masks on, absolutely. Washing hands, no physical contact. Just respectful foot chase.
Yearning.
Just deep yearning and desire, all felt within the body, elongating the gait, but nothing else. Nothing else elongating. Very important.
Nothing else is elongating. No sticky feelings, only staticky feelings.
No warm, sticky feelings, please. I got one from you.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say.
You know it? Beat to it. IKEA. Looking for Joe that I met at the IKEA restaurant several weeks ago. Sonia seated us both at the same table, and we have Southeast Asia in common.
I would just like to say that in its own way, this one is just as touching as yours.
I absolutely love at the IKEA. First of all, Sonia playing matchmaker. Who is this?
That minx.
Yeah, shared tables at IKEA during a pandemic. There's only one reason for that, and it's someone trying to be a little Cupid. And, you know, I don't know exactly what having Southeast Asia in common means. One interpretation is that they are both of Southeast Asian descent. Or somehow they just both appreciate the region. I don't know. That's the other possibility. They just started talking like, oh, I like your Vietnam bag. I don't know.
Like your Vietnam War medal. That's cool. Did your dad go there? Oh, that's bad. He was probably a bad person.
Yeah, which side were they?
I think only one side got medals.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Anyways, we won't get into politics, everybody. But
not a political podcast, except for the beginning of this episode. but So if Sonia saw two people of Southeast Asian descent and put them next to each other, that's different.
That's a little different.
That's less cute. That's more a racist, maybe.
A racist.
A more a racist. That's a racist.
That would not be the greatest. But I'm gonna go ahead and hope and vouch for Sonia here. I feel like Sonia is a matchmaker.
Gotta be hope.
You know, I think an equally bad match would be somebody of Southeast Asian descent, and then what the kids on the internet call a weeb, right? Mm-hmm. Is that what the kids call them?
I've heard the term.
You know, somebody who a white person who's maybe a little too appreciative of Southeast Asian culture.
You know, Elena and I were just having this conversation actually because we were watching Real Housewives of Orange County. We're in season 9 now.
I'm excited to see how this plays in. Please continue.
All right, one of the holdouts from season 1, Vicky Gunvalson, if you're a fan of the show, there was a new housewife on I think this season who's a white woman who's big on feng shui, and so I was trying to introduce Vicky to this concept, and just, I mean. She is a woman on the show who says so many wrong things. I do not like her. She is wrong about a lot of shit. But when the topic of feng shui came up, she said, I had never tried it. I thought it was only for Asian people. And I was like, you might be right here, Vicky. You might kind of be right. You shouldn't probably, you're not engaging in it in a way that is the most respectful, so you might be right about this. This one time, you might be right. Then, do I like how you said it? Not exactly, but I think you're learning something in these 9 years.
Wow, you're a really generous reader of people.
Oh yeah, well, trust me. If you had seen the lows, you would understand. This felt like a win.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. So, either way, Sonia,
Maybe it was a win overall.
Maybe this is Schrodinger's racist. It is okay and not appropriate until we get to the bottom.
Until we open the box.
Until we go to IKEA, locate Sonia, and ask some hard-hitting questions.
What a romantic locale. Okay. I've got another one from you here.
Yay.
Haven't bled you dry quite yet. I see you, a woman, walking your dog almost every day at Mill Park. About 3 to 4 times a week, I see you walk by my car with your dog to Mill Park between the 6:30 to 6:45 a.m. time frame. I'm usually parked there, to pass a little time before heading into work. I'm the guy in my silver car. It would be cool to chat, but I don't want to come off as a creeper since I'm just sitting in my car every morning. You seem cool, though, and it'd be fun to fill the free hour or so that I have with you. Winky emoticon. Here's the deal. If you don't want to come off as a creeper, don't use a winky emoji. Don't do it. Just don't do it. That's rule number 1.
Solid rule. I think, yeah. Winking is kind of an intimate text action. And when you decide to use an emoticon versus an emoji, I feel like it's even
excuse me.
creepy.
Yeah, don't use an emoticon. I personally find the raw emotional vulnerability of emoticon attractive. I love using little emoticons. I find it my gentle rebellion against the technology age to use my little emoticons instead of emojis, especially when you can give them eyebrows. I just feel like an angry emoticon conveys something that an angry emoji never will be able to encompass.
That's fair. You can also give him noses. You can give him...
Oh, yeah. If you're feeling really fucked up, you can give him a nose. That's what fucked up psychopaths do. Yeah.
a lot more customization. It's literally... It's Mac versus PC.
Is it?
It's
I
Apple.
think at this point, PCs do have emojis available.
No, absolutely. But, people who use them... we all know. It's weird, right? It's weird when people use... off-brand emojis.
You're coming from a very Apple-centric place there. I'm just going to tell you.
Listen, I've played both sides of this game, but I think it literally is you can customize an emoticon. You can't do so much to customize an emoji.
I would agree with you. I sympathize for this person. On one hand, being I'm the person sitting in my car before work. I have done that. I had a really horrible week one summer in college where I decided that I was going to teach improv at the summer camp. They were paying me next to nothing, but it was my first real improv job, and I was like, oh my God, they're going to pay me to teach improv? And I drove an hour and a half to go to this camp to teach for a couple hours, and the camp's around 8 a.m., and so I had to wake up at 5 a.m. and drive there, and it was Bay Area traffic, so I had to leave. I left extra early, and I would get there early, and then I would park in the McDonald's down the street from the school and sleep in my car for about an hour.
Damn.
So I get it. But also there is no way to be sitting in your car watching a park, see somebody walking in the park, get out of your car and join them without looking like you are going to stab someone. There's just no way to do it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, honestly, I was trying to solve this puzzle, and I can't. Even if you put up signage ahead of time, just put up
I'm sorry. Please tell me what you're envisioning.
I don't know, because you don't want to. You just said it. You don't want to pop out of the car and startle them, or even get out too early and wait for them. That's weird.
What is worse? It's all bad.
Getting out behind them. Things I struggle with as a black man all the time, trying to figure out how to be around white people sometimes without causing a panic. So I've had to play this game before.
Yeah.
And I was thinking if you could arrange some sort of impromptu signage before she arrives at 6:30. You start at
Please.
6.
Are these just signs that I'm sure you're going to tell me, but please tell me these are little yard signs on sticks that are on the grass of the park? Is that what we're imagining here?
Yeah, I think something as cheap and reasonable as that, just paper on wire, cardboard, wire.
What would it say?
I don't know. You might want to do multiple signs. If you don't know their name, but you know that they have a dog, you want to signal to them some identifying features to say, I don't know, woman with the brunette hair and the dog who's walks.
Here's my question though.
Okay,
How could you do that without being like, I'm the guy who watches you walk your dog every day in the morning?
This is where I also started. It starts falling apart a little bit because when you have these one-sided, unrequited like little crushes, that is what happens, right? You just have one person who is building a relationship in their head already, and another person who doesn't know the other person exists yet.
I think I might have a solve for this.
Okay.
You need to convince her to go to the IKEA, and then you need to go to the IKEA and let Sonia do her job. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think Sonia could be paid?
Yes.
Do you think you can find Sonia
I don't think she's
IKEA?
above that. I don't think IKEA pays enough for Sonia to be above that.
Yeah. You already have to build your own furniture. I think, you should get to make your own rules and do everything yourself, too.
It's actually a demilitarization zone. IKEA, no country has the upper hand there.
There you go. Exactly. No rules, no laws when you're building fluglaws. That's a table that they have.
Nice.
Yeah. I know my shit. Anyway,
oh God. All right.
Good luck to this person. Obviously the best idea is like just you need to time out you need to act like you've just moved to this neighborhood. You need to time out your walk so that you arrive close to when they do, Yeah.
You need to park your car several blocks away so that they see you walking to the park.
And then maybe like I don't know, you can kind of go on a little light jog as you kind of wait for them, maybe like stop to tie your shoe if you see them coming, and then get nope, then I don't know
borrow
what to do.
borrow a friend's child.
Ooh. Or dog would probably be easier.
Yeah, I guess. All right, I've got one for you. Here you go, buddy.
Alrighty. Got this long pause. 1 second. Here we go. Where am I looking? Oh, you know what happened? I recognize this one. 2 blue Geo Metros. You were stopped at the light headed north on Vancouver, and I was headed east on Lombard. I saw you in your blue Geo Metro. Same as mine. I honked and waved, and you honked and waved, and you were wearing cool sunglasses. I thought you were my friend Ray, but I realized you were not. Who are you? 'Cause you're hot. Frog emoji.
Okay, did we pull a 2 blue Geo Metros? Did you also have this one?
I also had this one.
We did it!
It was my next one. Because how could you not?
It.
The frog emoji really is what sold me.
It makes... Okay, I know I was talking a big game about preferring emoticons over emojis. I will say, in this one case, this emoji makes the entire misconnection.
Yeah, a well-placed emoji really is sexy. Someone who knows how to use and navigate emojis, it's a turn on. That's just the truth.
I like that this person was wearing cool sunglasses.
Mm-hmm.
I also like... I have no idea what a Geo Metro is.
Literally Googling it right now, because I don't know
but
either.
But it sounds like a rare car, mainly because I've never heard of it. So I'm a little obsessed with the fact that this person thought it was their friend who also owns a blue Geo Metro, but it was completely someone else.
Well, it's a unique looking car. It's a 90s.
I do see it. Oh yeah. This is a classique.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
Look at that chassis. Oh.
Somebody said the 97 Geo Metro is by far the best car made. No qualifier there. By far the best car made. Period.
Wow. The starting price on a 1997 Geo Metro is $2,018.
Wow.
That's not bad.
The maximum speed of a Geo Metro is 144 kilometers per hour.
That means so much to me. So
this, yeah.
Not a lot of these on the road, I'd say.
No, that's a pretty rare one. I'm glad they found another member of the Geo Metro. I will say that this is such a common human experience. Even if you and your friends don't drive the same car, I swear to God, every time I see a Kia Soul, I'm ready to wave at it because I think it might be you and Elena. Every time I see a friend's car who's recognizable, I perk up. I get real excited.
Absolutely, you know. And even more, this person, not only did they recognize the car, they thought this was their friend in the car. They thought this was their friend Ray.
Friend Ray, which leads the question, do they think their friend Ray is hot? Because it's sounding to me like maybe you need to go after your friend Ray.
Oh, shit. Plot twist. They are chasing the wrong person. Yeah, it's like, yeah, when you ever have a friend say, like, you know, I wish I could meet a girl like you. Like, you're so cool. Like, I wish.
Yeah. And then you're like, I am the girl like me.
Yep, you did it.
You done did it.
Open your eyes. I'm here.
Luckily, no one has ever said that to me, or else I think I would strangle them.
Good. Good. I'm glad that's never happened to you. That's great.
Has that happened?
No.
Has somebody said that to you?
Nah, I'm sure it hasn't. But, like, it kind of feels like it has, but I'm sure it has.
I feel like I've really been hurting your feelings this podcast. But first it was you look like a Chester. I hate to say this, but you strike me as the kind of guy who would get that said to you.
Oh, absolutely. Like, that is how I feel. Like, if it wasn't said to me out loud, it was definitely said in subtext, you know?
Somebody being like, God, you're so funny and handsome and smart.
I
wish I could meet somebody like you. And then you're sitting there, tears filling up those beautiful brown eyes of yours.
Man, I mean, I don't know if it's about, like, my own self-image in high school or whatever, but, like, I literally, like, there was a girl I asked to prom. And, like, before prom even happened, I was like,
oh, no,
we should just be friends, right? Like,
oh, it was the Kangol hat. It was seeping poison into it was Kangol poison into your brain.
I wish I could blame the Kangol, but that was years earlier. But no, really, like, that, it didn't happen in a way that, it's not as sad as it sounded. But definitely, like, I can say that sentence. That is a thing I did.
I'm just so incredibly glad that both of us independently were like, no, Talon is definitely somebody who has had that sentence.
Yeah. No, that is my vibe. At least that was my vibe in high school. Yes.
Yeah.
But now I'm just fucking
raw, unadulterated sex appeal. I hated that. You don't have any more for me because I stole your last one.
Stole my last one. I guess that means you win the episode.
Yeah,
because this is a competition. If you
know what my reward is, you have to read another one of mine.
Oh, okay. I guess it's only fair. Are you my husband? That's not. That's the misconnection there. That's
yes, I am your husband.
No. See, I'm reading.
You give me real boy wife vibes, so I could make that happen.
That sounds like us.
It does. It really does. I know you were gonna laugh it off, and then you were like, "No, that actually is quite accurate."
No, I think if we were a couple,
I would for sure be your husband. Yeah. Absolutely. No, hands down. Okay. Anyways.
All right. Are you my husband? I bought an anniversary card to send to the husband I don't have. To the man that makes me a better person and lets me yearn from my mistakes. Lets me learn from my mistakes and is still there for me. I need to meet this man so I can send this card on our first anniversary. Where are you?
That was a real Chester Freudian slip you just made about yearning.
I guess so. Is this main character syndrome? Is this that?
This is, I was literally going to say, who the fuck let Bridget Jones out in 1996,
Ooh,
you know?
Oh, shit, yeah. Oof. This is kind of sad. I can't, also, just like, I'm someone who has a really hard time holding on to cards. People will give you a nice card for things, and you're just expected to keep it.
This piece of paper is meaningless.
It's a nice piece of paper. I feel like they should be digitized and recycled, and that would be fine. But, like, you know, my mom insists on keeping every, like, holiday card we've ever gotten from a family. And, like, our family friends, they're not that close to, like, any of us. They're just, like, mostly acquaintances, I feel like. So I feel like we just, every year, there's just a tree made of pieces of paper signed by people I might have met once when I was 6.
Wow, this one really touched something in you.
This really did. My point is, we need to rethink the idea of gift cards. Like, make them smaller. Make them fit in a wallet, at least.
Send an email.
Or it could just be an email. But yes, holding the idea of like buying a card for someone.
There was a big, I believe there was a big popular like, Instagram post or something not too long ago. It's like a white influencer woman being like, to my future husband, I cry at night, but I know you want me to be strong. You know, one of those, like little terrifying, little bit of a boy, oh boy, that woman's going to snap someday sort of vibes.
Like, she probably wears white to a wedding.
Yeah. She's one of those people who fights tooth and nail for the bouquet.
Mm-hmm. And then just picks a random man to stare down when she catches it. Like,
and she laughs really hard about it, and no one else laughs quite as hard about it.
Yeah, and it kind of feels like the other people might just let her have it.
Yeah, like nobody else is really going after it. Like she was the one going after it. No one else really wanted to fight for it.
Like she knocked over the flower girl trying to outreach her to get the bouquet.
Outreach her. Yeah. And then she tried to act like that was a thing that she and the flower girl had. So for the rest of the night, she kept knocking the flower girl over and laughing and going, we do that.
Right. And the flower girl, like, told her parents about it, but they were too busy dancing and didn't really care about it and just told her to go, like, play with her Switch or something.
And now that girl has run away from home.
And if you have any information as to the whereabouts of this flower girl, please contact us at Craig's Essential Crisis. And we'll get to the bottom of this.
This is a real whodunit.
This is becoming a real whodunit. Anyway, suffice it to say, this gives off a vibe.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe of someone that I don't know. It's a brunch vibe. It's a girls' trip to Vegas vibe. It's a everyone gets each other joke gifts of vibrators on Christmas vibe.
Oh, penis-shaped everything at the bachelorette party
vibe.
Yeah.
And not to typecast this person too hard, but that's a rough thing to put out in the universe is all I'm gonna say.
I think this misconnection is cheugy.
Yes, I would agree. I think it is cheugy. I think we've done it. We've finally done it. We've pinned it down.
We finally used cheugy correctly.
Ding, ding, ding.
Gold star.
I was just imagining like Pee-wee's word of the day, like all of us going, ah! Yeah. Anyways, well, I guess we should end the podcast since we've achieved that goal.
Yeah, we really...
We do have one last misconnection for you, so do stick around till the very end. But we'd like to thank you so much for listening. If you want to help us out a little bit, which it would be great if you did, leave us a little review in the podcast app. Leave us a little review on Spotify, wherever you're listening. Please tell us how you like the podcast. Rate us 5 stars or don't. Any feedback is good feedback at this point. Did this sound too thirsty? I don't know.
Is there something we could do better?
To my future podcast reviewer, I bought you a card already. We'd also like, if you want to tell a friend about the podcast, that's a lot of the way that this gets shared, and we'd really appreciate it. If you have a misconnection that you'd like to send in to us to be read on the podcast, please feel free to send it in to our email at craigcrypod@gmail.com. That's CRAIGCRI pod@gmail.com.
Why we need a jingle.
Or, you made one?
No, this is why we need one. Now I have to make one. Now that you basically told everyone I made one, I have to make one.
Well, Talon made a jingle, and he's being shy about it. And you could also send it in to us on any of our social media. We've got a Twitter, Craig's Essential Crisis. We've got a Instagram, Craig's Essential Crisis. We got a Facebook, Craig's Essential Crisis. You guessed it. So please send in your misconnections there. Talon, do you have anything else you want to plug or anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, of course, if you want to follow along with Dearest Ava, the web series I'm thrilled to be a part of, go ahead and do that. The Seed and Spark page will be in the show notes, or you can follow Cryptic Films on Instagram. Did we thank the incredible Rosie Sherman?
We didn't, but you just did. Thanks to Rosie Sherman.
Thank you, Rosie, for writing our beautiful theme song. playing it so sweetly. Day in, day out.
Day in, day out.
Day in, day out, as they say.
You can check her out on Instagram at Hey Shermy.
And now for the road. Oh, sorry, I was just thinking about how I wanted to figure out how the mummy went. But guess not.
Guess we'll all live in mystery.
I guess some secrets are meant to stay buried. Here's one misconnection for you, the listener, for the road. I keep calling you the listener. Like, we know we're not called Craigs. Like, you have a name.
You are Craig's.
And I'm so sorry. Here's one for you, Craigs. Milwaukee... let me figure out how to read. Milwaukee Walgreens. Actually, difficult to say. That's not my
Milwaukee
fault.
Walgreens. Milwaukee Walgreens. Milwaukee Walgreens.
Difficult,
Milwaukee Walgreens.
Really struggling to get it out, I can see. So, there you go. Milwaukee Walgreens. You had some small titties and booty for days. Let it go out. I'm Tom Bigelow.
Sarah Thompson.
This has been Craig's Essential Crisis. Let it go out.
Small titties. Booty for days.
My type on paper.